Hey guys, today's video I am going to show you my 4 very favorite books. Now I am not a very huge reader. I like to read, I absolutely do, and I love to get into a whole series. So when I find a series that I love, I just love going through it, and I feel like I have lost a friend or a group of friends when that series is over. But today's video is going to be some fiction and some nonfiction. Let's start first of all with the book called The Traveler's Gift. This book is, I took off, it was sitting out on something and it got faded because I use this as decoration. I try to put out books sometimes and I take off the dust cover because I don't necessarily care about the dust cover. I like to see a natural book. So that's why it looks this way. But it is called The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews. So Andy Andrews is a comedian. He's an inspirational speaker. He's written several books. I've really only read this one, but reading the back of this again, I was like, oh, I need to check out his other books. I hadn't done this. Now I read this probably 15, maybe even 20 years ago. I've read it a couple times since. So let me tell you a tiny bit. Of course, I'm not going to give away anything. I want you guys to read these if it interests you. But basically, it centers around a man who is in his probably 40s, or maybe 30s. He is at the end of his rope, basically. He's massively in debt. His daughter needs a surgery that she needs to have right away. He just lost his job, and he's contemplating suicide. And so his wife can cash in on the money that would come to him through insurance, and then they'd be able to pay for his daughter's surgery. He tries to commit suicide, but don't quote me on this one. And I'm not giving away anything that probably the book jacket would have told you. He wakes up, basically, he kind of blacks out a little bit in his attempt. He wakes up and he is in a situation in history where he is actually dealing with somebody in history at a pivotal moment in their lives. And these are true people in history. Now, obviously, this is not true fact because it's a completely fictional thing. He meets 7 different people. And it's called The Traveler's Gift because he is the traveler. He travels throughout time. And what he does is he meets with these people and they give him some kind of thing that he needs to now just think about in his life. And they're so inspirational. He meets Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln. He meets Anne Frank. He meets, I think he is a general in the Civil War. But what they do is he meets with them as they are going through this pivotal moment in their lives, something that's huge that they're known for, of course. So Anne Frank, it was just before she was discovered. Just so interesting. And then once he's about to be done with the visit with that person hands him a piece of paper, and that says the things that he needs to know about that moment. And then all of a sudden he's transported to the next person. It is so inspirational. There are so many nuggets in this thing that you are just like, okay, I need to reread that. I really encourage you to read this book. And I'm going to link all of these books below so you guys can go check them out. Not literally, they're not at a library, but check them out and get them. You can get them wherever you want, but I'm going to link them below so just so you can see them. I'll probably do all Amazon because I'm an Amazon associate. That's what it's called. I probably should have known what I am. I'm an Amazon associate. The second book is actually a series of books, and I will say that these are by no means a very in-depth, major philosophical book by any stretch. It is a sweet series called the Mitford Series, and they are written by Jan Karon. And she transforms you into I don't know. She sends you, know the word. She sends you into the world of Mitford. It is a story about a priest. They call him Father Tim, but he's not Catholic. But it doesn't really matter. His religion comes into it, but it's not the pivotal part. But of course he is a pastor, so obviously it has somewhat to do with it. But it's more about all the people in this world of his. So he is a bachelor, and that comes into play a lot because he's a bachelor. There's a little bit of a love story in there. It's set in the mountains of North Carolina. He's a gardener, and you just literally fall in love with these people. This one's the first one, so start here and work your way. And I don't even know how many there are. It's like 14 or something like that. I don't know how many there are. It's a sweet series. The third one, besides the Bible, obviously the most life-changing book I have ever read and continue to always read would be the Bible. The second, besides the Bible, life-changing book I have ever read and implemented is a book called Getting Things Done by David Allen. Now, it's short GTD. You'll see it everywhere. If you Google, you will see a ton of information about this book. So I read Getting Things Done, I don't know, probably 15, 20 years ago for the first time. I was very frustrated. I didn't know how to get things done in my life. Obviously, that's why you read a book called Getting Things Done. He teaches you a system about how to take all the thoughts that are in your brain, all the things that you think you're going to remember, that you just don't. Let's face it, it's the biggest lie you can tell yourself that you're going to remember things. He teaches you a system of how to get that all out of your brain so you don't have to remember anything. It can be a paper system, it can be electronic, it's just a system. And he teaches you this system of how to get it all out of your brain, and then for you to trust this system to remind you at the appropriate time that you need to do something. And so I'll tell you just a little bit about some of the things, nuggets that are big, and he will say it again. First of all, he says, your brain is made for coming up with ideas, but it's not necessarily that good at remembering all those ideas and the things that all go around those ideas and implementing those ideas, and it's just not that good at it. And so you need to get it off of your brain to put it into a system so that you can have more ideas. So that is one of the, I'm like, okay, my brain is not for remembering, it's for coming up with ideas. I can do that. So I have used his system in different ways throughout the years. I use it very big at my work. As you guys know, or some of you may not know, I'm an administrator. It's hard to say. I am an administrative assistant in a small school, and I support the head of school and the principal, and I also run a major fundraiser every year with just a lot of people involved and things like that. I'm the event planner for that. So I have to do a lot in my job, and I need to remember a lot. And so I implemented this in my job, and it really has transformed my job and how I think about it and how I get things done and feel on top of things and not let things slide. So if you are feeling overwhelmed about the amount of work that you need to get done either at your job or at your home, because this can absolutely be implemented for your home, I highly recommend reading this book. Now, I will recommend you reading it all the way through before you start. You really need to know the entire concept before you start the concept. Once you've read it, this will make more sense, but I use the Trello system. Trello is a website, it's an app, and it's a wonderful app for getting things done. So you can implement them that way, but it can totally be done in paper, like a planner and things like, absolutely. And if you go on YouTube and search getting things done in a planner or something like that, there's videos that will pop up. I have not done one, but there are videos and some good ones. So I highly recommend whatever your way of doing things, look at that. And the sun is blinding me right now. Okay, I just closed my blinds. The sun is just beating in right now, and I'm right in front of a window. So I do have my ring light on, but I am in front of a window, and it just was like, ah! The fourth book that I'm going to recommend is not, I shouldn't even say recommend. It's the one I'm reading right now. Now, I went to a seminar just this past weekend. I started reading this book because a local church in the area was advertising that they were going to do this seminar. The title of the book, I'm going to show you, hopefully this shows up without my ring light blinding you. A Praying Life. It's by Paul E. Miller, and it's called Connecting with God in a Distracting World. And when I heard about the book, I was like, oh, I really feel I have such a hard time focusing my brain when I start praying. I don't know about you, but as soon as I start praying, my brain just goes to every other thing. And it was so, I just felt so discouraged. I felt like clearly I am not spiritual enough if I cannot keep my brain on one thing for an amount of time to pray about it. It was so frustrating. And I truly thought that I was flawed, that there was just something wrong with me. And I have just struggled my whole life with that. He addresses that whole thing in the first chapter. When I read the first chapter, I was literally like, that's me. He is describing me. And I was just like blown away. Now I'm not done with the book yet, but I went to the seminar. The seminar, here's the book that we used for the seminar. His approach to prayer was very fresh to me, very non-judgmental. I mean, okay, the big aha moment to me, I will say this, that I was just like, oh, okay, I can work with that. So if you're anything like me, you start praying and you know, it goes something like this. Lord, if you would just be with Susan, who's really struggling with, you know, whatever Susan's struggling with. Struggling with her health right now. Oh yeah, I really should go to the doctor. I'm praying for John because I know he lost his job. I wonder if Susan, and I probably should get milk tomorrow. Yeah. You know, help for Rachel as she's taking her test tomorrow. Oh, my nails need work. I really need work on it. Oh wait, I'm praying. Okay, you get the idea. It might not be as extreme as that, but you get the idea. And you literally are like, seriously, how does my brain why could I not stick? You know, I start with a prayer about Susan, I end up with I need a manicure. And you just think something is wrong with me. And this man, his name was Keith, who did our seminar. It wasn't the guy who wrote the book. He said, when you are praying, it's okay to bounce. That's how he said it. It's okay because your brain is going to do that. Go with it. It's okay. It could be the Holy Spirit leading you to pray about certain things. And let it happen. Just let it go. And stop worrying about the stress of having to stay on task. Be okay with that. I felt like the weight was taken off my shoulders, and you don't have to make your prayers sound amazing, or who cares? God doesn't care. It was a very uplifting seminar, first of all. But the book, I'm so excited to read it. I'm so excited to finish it. Because the seminar was so good, I'm just going to go ahead and recommend the book because obviously the seminar is based on the book. It's called A Praying Life by Paul E. Miller. And yeah, just excited about finishing it and implementing those things and getting into the app and trying that. Okay, so I asked you guys on Instagram what books have been life-changing for you. And I got a few answers. Some were repeats, of course. So I'm just going to share a few. One said The Shack. Now, I have not read the book. I saw the movie and I liked the movie. Another person said Settle My Soul. She says it's a devotional book by Karen Ehman, E-H-M-A-N, and Ruth Schwenk, S-C-H-W-E-N-K. So that's a devotional book. And then another person said Pretense by Lori Wick. It says a story of a family, mainly two sisters, who find faith through hardship. Another person said Educated by Tara Westover. Now, she doesn't say if it's fictional or nonfiction. I don't know, but that's what she said. Educated by Tara Westover. So that might be good. So those are some suggestions from you guys. So if you guys have some life-changing books or just books that just spoke to you, maybe they don't change your life. I mean, obviously, the Mitford series did not change my life, but it spoke to my heart. So if you have those books that you just remember, like, oh, it was just such a wonderful book. I wish I could start over and read it again for the first time. If you guys have those books or ones that are nonfiction that just truly taught you something or really did change your life, please comment below. If you are a Bible reader and you have a favorite book in the Bible that you would love to just tell people, please put that below, but give a description on why that matters to you, that book speaks to you. Do that. I'd love to hear that. I hope you guys like this kind of video. Don't forget to subscribe. And at the end of me talking right here, I'm going to give you guys an update. So if you want to see an update on something, keep watching. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. God bless. Okay, so for today's update, I thought I would show you guys a snippet of some of the things I have done. Actually, just one thing that I've done in my bedroom. So I did a phase 1 bedroom redo. I'll put it right here so you guys can check that one out. And it shows you like a little bit of what I had already done. I had moved some things around. And then I told you I was going to do another phase 2. And now I've done a few things, but I still have some more to do. It takes time, obviously. And I do most of it myself, with my husband's help, of course. But actually, what you can kind of see it right there. I painted my mirror. So before, my mirror was green. And it was a distressed kind of green. I bought it at Home Goods. I don't even know how many years ago, but I loved it. But it was just too green. I wanted to kind of get away from the artificial green in here and only add greenery through my plants and things like that. Fake, of course, because I would kill anything. So I've done a few things. The wall that this is like behind you guys right now is exciting. Let me show you the mirror. Okay, so here's the mirror. I'm showing you this angle because I don't want you to see everything else, but you can kind of see the color of the wall I've painted in here. And it's a light gray. But the mirror here used to be a pretty dark green and distressed. So I painted it. It's a chalk paint. Let me see if I can zero in if you guys can see it. And I did it, and then I distressed it just a little bit. I didn't want it majorly distressed, but it was a pain to do, I will say, because all of these little crevices in here, I had to take a little paintbrush. The entire time I did a little paintbrush. And this thing is actually quite large. It's like a full-length one. So that's one of the updates. I'm just giving you guys a sneak peek that I do in some of my videos. So, yay! All right, guys, I will see you guys in the next video. God bless.